This is Richard Wolff from Democracy at Work, responding to another Ask Prof. Wolff question from our Patreon community. And this question comes from Kathy Freeman. And she is responding to or asking about an article put out by resilience.org. And it concerns how we understand what happened in the Great Depression in terms of mass and popular mobilization and how it influenced policy on the one hand, and what we need to learn from that in terms of doing something comparable these days, as is suggested by phrases like a Green New Deal and by the general question of how human beings could be mobilized to deal with the crises of today, such as COVID, such as climate change, and so on. Very important issues, great question. I do want to take issue with the way the history is presented often, because it reads back into the Great Depression, something that is absent today but was not absent back then and needs to be taken into account, not only to be historically accurate, but because what was present then and that is absent now is, in my judgment, absolutely vital to solving today's problems that are not only not getting solved, but are getting worse. What do I mean? Well, in the renditions of Resilience, and in the renditions of many modern historians, far from all of them, but many, there's a peculiar story about the Great Depression. We are told, on the one hand, big business interests, and they were well organized and they made their feelings felt in those days. They were powerful then as they are now. And on the other hand, we are told, was the mass of the citizenry, which needed to get itself together if it was going to have any influence, and it needed to get itself together powerfully and in significant numbers if it was to have any chance to be a real counterweight to the corporate elites, as they are often referred to. And then there's a debate about whether in the 1930s what happened was that the people mobilized themselves more or less or better than they are doing now. Pretty much everybody sees that they did it better then than now, because we had a big lurch to the left in the 1930s to radical leftist, socialist, left-wing liberal kinds of organization, kinds of mobilization, the parallels to which have still not materialized the way they did then, although something like that is growing around the Bernie campaign, Occupy Wall Street, the socialists running and winning elected office, and so on. But here's what's missing from the talk of the 1930s, and it tells an enormously important story. In the 1930s, you had not just a progressive government in the sense of a government like Franklin Roosevelt's that was at least open to influence from below, from the people, from the mobilization of concerned citizens. You had something more than that, and that more was crucial then, and its absence is crucial now. What was present then were four organizations: a powerful rising labor movement, industrial unionization, organized by the Congress of Industrial Organizations, the CIO. Working with them were two distinct socialist political parties and the American Communist Party. They were highly organized, well organized, national in scope, and these three parties worked with one another and with the CIO. And that made all the difference. The organization well understood how to proceed politically. Those political parties and the CIO mobilized the mass of the people, and that's what gave them influence on a government at that time. And I stress that not only to correct the record so that the questions that Cathy Freeman asks are put in what I think is a more accurate historical frame. But here's my real concern. What we lack in the United States today is not a concerned population. I would argue that the concerned population left of center in the United States is as big and as strong as it ever has been, and as it was in the 1930s. But what is lacking in this country are those organizations. The labor movement is at an all-time low in terms of who it represents and of its own internal strength. The Communist Party has been literally destroyed, and both of the socialist parties largely destroyed as well. So there has been a drastic elimination of the very organizations that made the difference then. And rebuilding them now is the number one objective of the left in this country, so that it can once again wield the kind of influence that it was able to wield back in the 1930s. If discussions like these strike you as valuable insertions, contributions to the national conversation about where we are and where we're going, then please be a partner with us. Join us. Spread these videos. Share them with friends, co-workers, neighbors. If you can support us financially, please know that we will welcome that support, and it will allow us to do what we're asking you to do, extend the reach of these kinds of analyses. And everything you need to know about working with us, you can get on our website, democracyatwork.info. This is Richard Wolff for Democracy at Work.